strategize together. Let's hear it from an expert. Join the conversation, it's informative and free. You and me, let's talk some strategy. Now here's your host, Dorien Morin-van.
Hey, everyone. My name is Dorien Morin-van, and I'm the host of Strategy Talks. Thank you for being here for another live episode recorded right here from Pittsfield, Vermont. I have a very special guest with me today. I'll introduce her in just a second. I want to make sure that if you're here live, let us know in the comment where you're joining us from. Our guests will be happy to answer questions live, so make sure you put those in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay in the comments, so then our guest and myself can go in and answer questions that you might have. And last but not least, I want to welcome our podcast listeners who might come to us later in the year and might be listening to this exciting episode about competitors analysis. So without much further ado, before we do, I have one more. I need to do a shout out to our sponsor. Socialinsider is the intuitive dashboard for social media analytics, reporting, and competitors analysis for brands and agencies. And I happen to have, which is great lead-in, the founder of Socialinsider with us today as our special guest. So Adina Jipa, thank you so much for being here with us.
Hi everyone. Hi Dorien. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So Adina is an entrepreneur, a builder, a data-driven marketer, wife, mother, and veggie cookies baker. She's addicted to psychology and obsessed with understanding the why of every customer's move. With Socialinsider, they help digital agencies to win clients' pitches, get in-depth social media analytics, create presentation-ready reports, get competitive insight, measure the social media performance across multiple channels, and much more. Socialinsider is being used by top agencies and companies worldwide, such as TBWA, Geometry, Tribal Worldwide, UNICEF, Honda, Volvo, Rolls-Royce, Beko, and more. She works as a marketer and was featured on Social Media Today, Social Media Examiner, Content Marketing Institute, and many others. Welcome, Adina.
Thank you, Dorien.
I'm so excited you're here. So we're going to talk about researching your competition on social media. A couple of weeks ago, I had a guest on here that talked about collaborating with your competition, which is a completely different conversation. So today we're going to talk about researching competition. So what is the first thing that you can tell our listeners and those who are watching about researching competition?
So I think that researching the competition is a way to understand your strategy, a way to understand what's working for a company, for a brand on social media, a way to understand the audience, how people react and interact with specific messages, because I think it's very important to look at their captions, what they are replying, their comments, what type of emoji they are using. So all of this stuff gives you an impression of how the audience reacts to the messages, to the company messages, to the brand messages. So it's pretty important to see what's working and what's not. And in looking at these pieces of puzzle, I think in the end you find some opportunities for your sales opportunities, maybe promotion campaigns opportunities, ways to promote in a specific way for your company on social media.
Yeah, that's awesome. So to start out to research your competition on social media, I know that for those of you who don't have a tool like Social Insider in your back pocket, you would just go and look at your competition, right? But you have a tool that makes doing that much easier. I'm, of course, a user of Social Insider. You guys sponsor my show. I absolutely love that tool where I can go and look at my competition, but also keep an eye on it. And what you just said really hit home. Looking for trends, but looking for opportunities, right? Because isn't that what data analytics is all about? You have the data, but then you need to interpret it, correct?
Yeah, to transform in actionable insights for your business.
Yeah. So that's really great. So in the green room, I asked you what platform this is really powerful on, and you talked about Instagram. So can you talk a little bit more about researching competition on Instagram, and what kind of data should people look for when they're looking for that, to use that to further their own business?
I think that the first steps, you should define maybe for your top 5 competitors. Even if we're talking about Instagram, Facebook, or other social media platform, first thing, if you should define who are these 5 competitors, because there are direct competitors, there are indirect competitors, but when you do the research, first thing first, define these top 5, and after that, think of why are you doing this competitors analysis? What are your goals, your KPIs, and what are you trying to achieve? Maybe you want to improve your content strategy. Maybe you want to see if this platform works for you. Maybe you want to optimize your paid social media or improve the conversations for your brands on Instagram. Most of our clients, when they are searching and they are using Social Insider to dive in and look at Instagram data, they combine Social Insider data, because due to the API, there are some limitations. So if you want to get audience metrics and audience data, in this case, you have to look manually through the post, through the comments, and we don't have reactions on Instagram, but we have the comments, we have the emoji, we have the text that the audience, which is the audience that you have for your business, wrote those messages and those comments on Instagram. But using a tool, you can look at content data on profile analytic and get profile analytic data. You can understand the engagement rate, if it's a message that drives more conversations, or it's a message that maybe have a CTA that moves you to link in bio and read more from them. You can look at the engagement metrics overall on a profile level. So how the profile perform, what's the average engagement per day, what's the share rate, what's the comment rate, what's the save rate, maybe if you want to see this type of metrics. You can look at paid media stats. Here again, there are some specific tools that gives you ads from competitors, but also Facebook has a huge library, Facebook library ads, I think it's named it, and you just type there the competitors and the page that you are looking for, and will get all the campaigns that are active, and I think that past campaigns from the competitors. And of course, you can look at the hashtags, because maybe hashtags, the way they are working right now, they are not good for getting more views or impressions, but they are good for Content Explorer and for giving a way to categorize the content pillars, and getting all these data and all these numbers, you get a glimpse of what type of messaging are they publishing on Instagram, Are they publishing about a new product launch, about a new service? Maybe they are running a sales campaign because summer is coming, or maybe back to school campaign. And all of these you put together and write the actionable insights for you.
Yeah. So I really like this. I think for people who are missing out and have never done a competitors analysis for their business, right? A lot of people are stuck on social. They just, as we call it, throw spaghetti at the wall and they don't really know what works. The first thing that I do in my business, I offer an audit, a social media audit, which is like a snapshot of what you're doing right now and what you're not doing. And then the competitors analysis is that next step. What are others doing in your industry? And I love that you just said, taking that data, but then interpreting it. What does it mean? Right? So for example, if all your competitors are on Instagram, but one is on Pinterest and doing really, really well on Pinterest, maybe you need to go check out Pinterest.
Yeah.
What are they doing over there? Right? So getting data is one piece of the puzzle, but then interpreting it and finding ways to go with that trend. Now, the other piece that I want to kind of touch on is doing a competitors analysis. It gives you information about your competitors, but what it really gives you information about is your audience, because competitors, right, have the same audience as you. And when you're talking about copy and words, and I want to kind of go back to that a little bit. When you look at, say you do a competitors analysis and you see what you called CTAs, call to actions, and the copy, what can you do with that? Because obviously we're not going to copy our competitors. We're not going to say, hey, they said XYZ. We're going to say XYZ too, and maybe they'll like us better, right? What can you learn from that though? What can you do with that information about the call to actions and the words they use to use on your audience?
Yeah, so I think that it's important to understand the type of content, to understand what they are sharing the most on Instagram. They are using these messages with a photo, with a single photo, or they're using these messages with a carousel, because the messages is one piece, but the picture, the images that they are using, the reels, the videos they are creating are other parts of the analyzing the content. I think it's important to look at what time they are posting those messages on social media, because yes, you get some analytics from the native app when people are active, but it's important to see maybe there are some sweet hours, maybe specific hours where people are commuting or stuff like that. And for example, I've noticed that in our case, our competitors are publishing on Sundays a message. Are publishing on Instagram on Sunday. So this made me think that I didn't realize that people are more active, more open to receive a message on Instagram on Sunday compared with on Monday or Tuesday, where they are more, I think, more active on their job. So all this type of information, once you go and understand how people engage and react to your competitors' messages, can be really powerful for your brand. Another thing here, when it comes to the messages, is that you should look at what tone of voice the competitors are using. What type of issues do they address on their profiles? How people react with this type of post, and on a brand level, what brand methods do they apply? I don't know, maybe what's the color, do they start a message with an emoji in the beginning and then not using emoji at all? All of this requires manually and using a tool to understand what's working and understand how people react to and engage with these messages. Because in the end, I think if we are talking about, especially for Instagram, it's a platform for conversations. it's a platform where you can engage with your audience and not creating content for direct sales. So if you if you have this goal, maybe you should revisit it and change it into something that can brings more value to your business. Um, these are the content metrics and post analytics metrics, but of course you have to look at the profile in general, um, how the profile looks,
Right.
how the bio is written,
Sure.
how the bio, yeah, how it's looking.
Maybe the overall feed too,
The
right?
overall feed, yeah,
Yeah.
is in line with the brand guidelines.
Yeah.
It is in line with what the brands, with the brand purpose. So all of this you have to check and to extract the information that you need for your research.
Right. So this is incredible information. So if you're watching, if you're listening, you're already active, whether you're a social media professional or you're a business owner, you're active on social media, and you're not really sure what's working or what the next step is, or if you're ready to like get to the next step, you need to do a competitors analysis, right? So now my next question to you is, so you get this information, you get humans to interpret the data because that's really important to understand what the changes are you need to make. A competitors analysis is like a jumping board, right? It's a start to adjusting your own strategy. It's not your new strategy. It's not going to be like, well,
Yeah.
they're all doing that, we're doing that. It's
Yeah.
a way to it's a quick start guide almost.
Yeah.
Like they're all doing this, so you should do this and then go from there. So how often should somebody perform competitors research?
I think that every 3 months, it's better to look at what they are doing, and of course, year on yearly report, because you'll get to understand their campaigns, what type of campaigns they are running through a year. You'll get to understand their paid media campaigns. So quarterly or yearly is a better way to look, and it's a better moment to look at the competitors' data.
Okay. Is there anything people should not do when they do a competitors analysis? Is there anything that you're like, guys, when you go in there and you see this, don't do XYZ? Because, sometimes
Yeah.
that's really good advice too. What should we not do?
I think that you shouldn't replicate what they are doing, one copy. So always have in mind what's your goal, what you would like to achieve on Instagram, for example.
Sure.
So always look at what your brand purpose and company mission and what you are trying to um, transmit on social media, and make sure you don't have a one-on-one copy here. And I think that always important to find your own unique way to say the things in social. So this using this uniqueness of you, maybe you involve your C-level people, the agency owner, or maybe you as a profile or as a social media professional. It's important to use your strengths and to promote these strengths on social media, because this type of things cannot be replicated, cannot be copied on other by your competitors on social media or by other people. So it's very important to use your strength as a human being and promote these things on every social platform that you would like to be.
Okay, that is really good advice. So, absolutely look to your competitors' analysis as a starting point, but then find the things that makes your business unique and highlight them. And so, tell me about the tools. You obviously are the co-founder of Social Insider. What platforms, if somebody wants to go to Social Insider, I know you have a 2-week free trial. What platforms can people do competitors research on currently on your platform?
So we cover Instagram, the main platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. These platforms.
So that's a great start. You know, if there's one that's missing, I don't even know which one would be missing, but it's really great. I'm gonna, you know, say this as a tip for people. If you're a social media professional and you're ready to work with somebody and you're getting ready to do a proposal, I know I've talked about this before, but I use this tool, Social Insider, to do that competitors analysis, a really quick one, to get a view of the industry that I'm going into. As a social media manager, I've been in 50, 60, 70 different industries, right? I've worked in the food industry. I've worked in you know, security, home plumbing, you know, electric companies. There's so many different, but I don't always know what's going on in the industry. So using the Social Insider tool, I'm able to go in and put in the name of the potential client as well as some of their competitors and kind of get a view of what's happening within the industry, where they are most active, who's having success, and what's happening. And it helps prepare me for the conversation with the potential client. I'm not using this report and giving it to them in that first initial meeting, but I'm using it to strengthen my foundation in that industry. And that shows that I've done my research. So it's a great way. Competitors analysis can also be a great tool to win the business. So I just wanted to point that out. Adina, I have a very quick fire round of questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So physical work or mental work?
Mental work.
Okay. Raise or bonus?
Raise.
Speed or accuracy?
Speed.
All right. Awesome. That was great. Well, I want to make sure that everybody knows how to get in contact with Social Insider. If you want to try this tool, there's a 14-day free trial. They are sponsors of Strategy Talks. Obviously, it's all about strategy. It's a perfect match. I use it, like I said, to win the business, but also to create a strategy for my clients. It's amazing. If you've never done a competitors analysis, go check it out. It's really cool. Adina, I really appreciate you being here with me today. Is there anything else you want to add to this conversation? Something you want to say about researching your competitors, a do or a don't that's really important before we go?
I think that it's important, as I said, it's important to be to be unique on social media strategy. And maybe when you are looking for researching competitors, maybe you add competitors that you are look at, maybe add some profiles and look at some profiles that you want to be in the next year or next 3 or 5 years. So just to highlight the journey that you have to the journey that you have to go through to see where are you today and where we want to be in the next 3 years.
Oh, I love that tip. So instead of just looking at competitors who are the same size and where you are right now, look at those who've gone before you and already are where you want to go.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't matter if it's in your industry or other industries, because usually I add profiles from other industries, profiles that I look at. I love the way they are interactive with the audience. I love their captions. So I prefer this, let's say, a mood board. Where are you today and where you want to be in the next year or in the next 3 or 5 years.
And it doesn't have to be within the same industry. That's another great tip. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Adina. Where are you yourself most active on social media? Where can people connect with you?
I think on LinkedIn I'm the most active, and then on Twitter.
Okay.
So you can find me at Adina Jipa. Just type my name and you'll find me there.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, I'll put your profile in the comments as well. Thank you so much for everybody who was here live, for the comments and encouragement. Thank you for those who are watching the replay, and especially another shout out to our podcast listeners. Adina, I will talk to you soon. I'll be back next week with another episode of Strategy Talks. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.